Testing, 1, 2, 3. No, just kidding. How's the audio?
Great.
If you like the audio, text us at ToutSocial, please. We're going to get the show started. So, hi everybody. This is Susan Quinn, and I'm with ToutSuite Social Club, and welcome to our introduction of Impromptu Cooking with porn chef Jake Grant.
Hello.
No. So we had a
Quite an introduction.
Yeah, so Christine tries, so we can thank her for that.
Yeah.
So we had a contest about what to name our show, and one of them was Food Porn with Jake. But Impromptu won out.
Actually, one of the more popular ones.
It was very popular. So hello, Christine, and thank you for sending in that submission. Also, I think palette porn, that was pretty cool.
Palette porn, yeah, that one.
I like that better.
Yeah, someone's going to take that now.
Yeah.
Now it's out there. So.
So Impromptu, which is our cooking show where we are making things like we do at home. So you're a professional chef.
That's right, I am.
And I'm not. But we were on Facebook one day and we were looking at each other's photos of what we make at home.
Yeah.
And I think it was somebody from Sunshine Market or something said, you guys do a show on ToutSuite about that. It would be cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool idea because as a chef, frequently the meals I eat at home are something recreated from something I took home from a restaurant mixed with, some leftover vegetables or some kind of random ingredients. And usually I like to take things and sort of repurpose them. Mm-hmm. And so, I'll take like a leftover piece of steak. I never finish my food at restaurants. I always, as a chef, I want to try everything. So when I go out,
you order and try a lot of different things.
Yeah, so it's a real problem. Mm-hmm. And, if I'm with friends, I eat it all. But, if I'm out on a date, be a little civilized and say, okay, I'm going to not eat it all and take it home. And then over the course of the next however long, a week to a month, depending on what it is, it sits in my fridge and hopefully gets turned into something, that I can eat again. And generally, sometimes it's better. I won't name any restaurants.
I know, that's the fun part too. So I have 3 kids, and they're kind of getting older. So I'm making one of their favorite dishes tonight that, I don't know, so the chicken thigh is one of my favorite pieces of meat to eat on a budget. So this is also a show about eating, you don't have to spend $50 on your ingredients for dinner every night.
I love chicken thighs. Yeah,
and that dark meat, and it's so tasty. And they're really, really inexpensive. One
of the things when I do shop, which is very seldomly, I'll get chicken thighs fresh, and I'll wrap them, 2 per package and freeze them.
Yes.
In a Ziploc bag. Mm-hmm. Then when I need them, I'll just run them under some cold water. Usually they're ready. And
perfect. So yes, I love purchasing things all at once, and then wrapping them to your proportions that you need, and then just remembering to take them out and getting them thawed, or if you can run them under water.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, usually, if you put them in like a bowl, and then, just enough so that the water comes over the level of the chicken, and then run the cold water on it. It doesn't take very long to thaw out. And that's what we do, at the restaurant when you need things thawed out. That's how we thaw it out, and that's how you quick thaw it because you don't always have time to just.
So do you leave the water running? I saw something that Alton Brown was doing on thawing. I think it was duck.
Okay, so you can do it either way, and there's advantages to both. By not running the water, you're conserving water. That's the only advantage. By running the water, you're recycling. So if you just put frozen something in cold water, the water just gets cold and it loses its ability to defrost. Yeah. So by keeping more water flowing onto it, it might seem a little wasteful, but it's effective.
Yeah, cool.
Better than
microwave. You know what? You got here a little early, so we were going to make a cocktail on the show, but we decided to do that before the show. But I'm going to refresh for you.
Well, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and we were talking about these ice cube trays.
We were.
And so what are the different uses that you use for these ice cube trays? Or any ice cube trays?
Yeah, any kind of ice cube trays. You can get the flexible ones, which are nice.
I like them because they're square.
One thing I do is...
They're cute, square ice cube.
A few times a year, I'm going to make a big meal. And it's going to be, around the holidays, or it's going to be, for a special occasion when I'm having guests over. And I want to use... like a chicken stock or a veal stock, or recently I made a pheasant stock. And, you know, I always, you know, when I make a big meal, it's going to center around some sort of stock is going to be made, because I'm going to be left with bones and I'm going to have some sort of animal. And then the great thing about ice cube trays is the leftover stock you can pour right into these, and then you have individual portions. So when you're just cooking for one or two people, you can use the frozen block of stock like you would a normal stock. So say you're just sauteing something in the pan, you know, you use a little wine maybe, and then you say, oh, I need some moisture here. Boom, you can throw in your frozen chicken stock or veal stock if you're, you know, a real big, you know, connoisseur of stock. Obviously, that's a more difficult one to make. But
yeah,
you know,
I've never done that one.
Fish stock.
I've done fish stock, chicken, and
of course, there's also fish stock isn't quite as important. You know, chicken stock you have to make from scratch. Fish stock you can put together with, you know, you can get the little what's called dashi, instant dashi, which is something that just dissolves in cold water and makes a really good fish-based stock. Something that.
Well, here is my favorite for the past year or two is the great Italian Greyhound. And this is something, I mean, Trader Joe's, $3.69 for fresh. I think it's pretty much fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. Ruby red. It's good. It's good. It's not like the stuff from a can or from a plastic bottle that says there's some juice.
Yeah, the stuff from the can tastes a little suspect.
Yeah. It tastes like kids juice, like Capri Sun or something.
Yeah,
you
which
know,
I love.
Yeah. And we do have so that's $3.69, and this is $9 vodka. I mean, we're not doing a commercial for Trader Joe's. I'm just telling you.
Right, but if we were,
they should pay us.
Yeah,
that would be good.
Just a thought.
And then this is Campari, and you just put a dash of that in, and it really brightens it up. And this is not cheap.
It's not cheap.
You know, it's like $25, $28, I think, something like that.
But you don't use a lot of it.
Nope.
So that bottle might last you for a while.
But it really gives it
it's good in like
an elegance.
Good in would you use it in like a margarita, or would you use it in what else would you use it for?
Well, we have done Negronis here on the show before.
There you go.
And that's a lot of fun. In fact, we have the Campari, which is the classic, I guess, Negroni. But then this Cynar,
yeah.
Cynar.
Very, very popular right now.
I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
It has the picture of an artichoke on it, and it's supposedly an artichoke liqueur.
So there's a resurgence in you know, classic cocktails that call for a bitter element, and Cynar is like, you know, what all the top-notch bartenders are using right now to add sort of bitter undertones to their drinks.
I love it. I have to get into that a little bit more because I have that bottle, but I don't know what to do with it.
You know, I think a lot of people are throwing around the word artisanal these days for cocktails. And I think when they say something like artisanal, they mean, you know, handmade using, you know, kind of niche ingredients. And I think stuff like Cynar or house-made bitters or whatever the case sort of falls into that category of artisanal.
That's very exciting, especially us being here in Napa Valley.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your restaurant, Eiko's.
Okay, Eiko's is a modern Japanese restaurant. A lot of people don't really know what that means, and to be honest, I don't always know what it means either. My background, at least as a chef, I apprenticed under master Japanese chefs for about 7 years at a restaurant in Denver as well as in Japan. So from there, you know, I found myself sort of pigeonholed into this realm of classical sushi, and I said, well, how can I get out of this? You know, how can I break free from this and move on and do different things? So I really sought out different kinds of cuisines and came up with some new interests and kind of spun this whole new web of things. And that's sort of what falls into me going out and venturing out into like what we think of as, you know, neo-California cuisine and French cuisine and Italian, and drawing on those influences and saying, hey, we want to use the ingredients from Napa, and we want to use what people are doing, you know, at other restaurants that we like going to. And so frequently I think of an idea and say, well, how can I make that into something that we could consider modern Japanese? So that's where a lot of the ideas come from.
So is it a Japanese like is this not a good word anymore? Fusion, California? Or...
Yeah, it's an unpopular word, but words go in and out. Like I said, artisanal is in style right now, so maybe I should call it artisanal Japanese. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. I like that.
There you go. But you'll hate it in 6 months. So
yeah,
fusion, is definitely an overused word, but it does describe quite a bit about what we do.
Combination of Napa Valley, because everybody loves their sushi, but you're doing a Napa Valley style, a California style of cuisine.
Like in the springtime, I noticed you brought in some little cherry tomatoes from your garden, and we're excited to see tomatoes coming back in the spring and summertime. We do a snow crab, which is a traditional ingredient in California rolls, but we also put fresh basil and goat cheese and then top it with heirloom tomatoes and cracked black pepper and some chive-infused oil, so you get this kind of thing that looks like, sushi, classic sushi roll, but it's got the California heirloom tomatoes and sort of all those elements.
Wow. Yeah. So in Japan, are all of the sushi places like really traditional?
No.
I just saw that show about Hiro.
Yeah. So that would be
on HBO or something.
That would be an example of sushi fetishism, where you take something and you isolate it and make that so complex and so intricate. That's not every place in Japan, even though they are more specialized in Japan. So here you go to a Japanese restaurant and you'd be surprised if they didn't have tempura. You'd be surprised if they didn't have noodles. You'd be surprised if they didn't have those things. Whereas in Japan...
Because some people don't like fish that go to sushi restaurants.
Right. But in Japan, if you went to a sushi restaurant, they'd probably just serve sushi. And if you wanted tempura or tempura, you would go to a tempura restaurant. If you wanted, tonkatsu, the fried pork, you would go to a tonkatsu restaurant. If so everything that you see in a Japanese restaurant in California or in America is much more specialized in Japan. But they also, California sushi, California rolls like that came from the West Coast and then went back to Japan. And now you see those pretty commonly in Japan too. Yeah. Especially with the younger crowd.
Well, we're very lucky to have you here in Napa.
We're lucky
so you're mentioning my little garden. I wanted to ask you a couple things, and then I'm going to get right into this recipe here.
Okay.
But these, I actually saw some orange and red things in the tomato patch this morning.
Okay.
And they turned out to be ripe cherry tomatoes.
They look delicious.
Yeah. Go for it. And then I also have been having a zucchini come up every now and then. And I wanted to ask you, aren't they sweet? They're sweet.
Delicious.
Yeah. Nothing like a tomato from your garden.
No.
Yeah.
There's something like any from your garden.
This is the first tomato I've had this year.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty early. It's only June 10th today.
That's right.
That's early.
It is early.
People last year were talking about July or August getting their tomatoes.
The season went very late last year too, so we'll see what happens this year. I mean, we were getting fresh tomatoes into September, October. So
yeah, very happy about that. So, what's your take on zucchini size? Like,
I mean, size matters.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I see people giving away humongous sized zucchini to their friends, and you cut into them, and they are hollow and woody or something.
Yeah, woody almost. Yep.
Yeah, and everybody's so proud of their humongous zucchinis, right? But I mean, this is the biggest. This happened in one day, really. I think this wasn't even there yesterday, and today. I don't even think I saw it this morning.
I've asked this question. I don't know the answer to this question. I know in a squash, you've got these wonderful blossoms, and you can do all kinds of cool things with squash blossoms, and you can stuff them, and you can fry them, you can tempura them. I bet you could do it with
the whole
zucchini blossoms.
Oh yeah, I have with zucchini squash blossoms. Yes, I have once in a while, but it's hard to gather enough of them unless you have a really good patch. And they're expensive at the store. Like, see, this one is already
I could eat this guy like a little carrot.
I think you could.
I like raw. I like raw vegetables.
Yeah, when they're small, you can really.
Yeah, you could slice it. I don't know if you have like a little. Put them on a salad.
Yeah.
Or something like this really lends itself to a little salt and pepper and oil and throwing it on the grill because it'll grill up real fast.
With the blossom on it, would that be cool?
That would be cool. Yeah. I just fired up my grill for the first time this year. The other day, I've got a little Weber grill. Something exciting for me. I don't know if it's exciting for the average person, but I got
I think it is.
a Weber grill attachment that turns it into a pizza oven. So this thing, I ordered it.
Is it the egg, or is it different than the egg? The green egg or whatever that I've heard of?
It's different than the egg. I think it's called the, gosh, I don't remember what it's called.
So it's a Weber attachment that turns
it into so it's a stainless steel ring. It's a stainless steel ring that goes around. You take the lid off, and then it's a stainless steel ring that goes along that has a mouth like a pizza oven, and then it comes with the stone.
Wow.
And then the lid goes back on, and you can slide your little pizzas in there, and you can get it up to like 1,000 degrees and make Neapolitan-style pizzas on your Weber grill.
Oh,
and I've
never seen or heard of that. That sounds great.
Charcoal-fired pizzas. It's my favorite thing in the world.
How do you make your pizza dough?
I've never made it before. That's why I'm so excited.
Oh,
I don't know yet.
We'll have to do a show about that.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are watching and haven't made it down to the ToutSuite studio before, we are right on the Napa River, and just behind, we are looking at you, but behind you is the Napa River, and it's just a gorgeous day. It started out a little thundery. I
thought it was beautiful. I took a little cat nap, and great day to not feel bad about it.
Yeah, so we'll have to see and you just live down the street, so you can wheel it over, I think.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll do a show out there at the new pizza
I'm excited.
So, I am going to get started, and what Jake's going to do for me, since it's our first show, next time you'll have more responsibility.
Okay. I'm sorry, I called Susan like an hour ago and said, "So wait, what am I supposed to do?
Doing?
What am I supposed to just show up and smile, right?
Just come up and help me." So what we have is the chicken my kids love. I don't know, do we have a name for it, Gracie? Just like the kids call it, "Can you make that chicken?" You know?
They ask for it by name.
Yeah. That chicken that you make.
You know the one.
So, and this is very affordable. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got like 12 pieces or something for $11. So this is like $1 each almost, maybe around that. And so you just take the chicken thighs, and I did it in 2 batches, the finished batches over there. So just chicken thighs in a tray. It couldn't be easier. I like to I use soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, salt and pepper, and ground double superfine mustard. So ground mustard powder.
And if you have I don't know if you make coffee at home, but if you're at the spice shop and you get the whole mustard seed, and you can grind it.
In the coffee grinder.
Huge difference.
Ooh.
To fresh grind the mustard seed.
I will, because I always run out of that, and they
go bad. So it gets stale and loses its flavor. But if you get the whole mustard seed and just keep it in a Ziploc bag and grind it when you need it, you got something that's gonna last.
I love it. And so when you're grinding in the coffee thing, what I've done in the past is you take some breadcrumbs and then you grind the bread, and you make bread, you throw it out, but then it gets all the coffee out of the grinder.
I've never used mine for coffee, but I buy my
use mine for coffee mostly.
I'm aristocratic like
that.
I go and
you buy it ground already?
No. I buy the made drink.
You mean it's already like hot and liquid?
Yeah, like I go to the coffee shop. Ritual coffee.
Well, Ritual is good.
Every day.
You can't really make that at home.
No, you can't.
No, Ritual coffee is awesome. We love it. Well, you live near Oxbow, so you can walk to Ritual Coffee.
I could.
If you can't, you sometimes have to make it at home like me. Yeah. So here's what I do. I put all the wet ingredients first.
Interesting.
And you know what?
Tell me why you do that.
Because I like the dry stuff to stick on it. And if I put the dry stuff on first, it washes off when I put this on. Is that right or wrong? So you can say whatever you want.
It's right for you. It's right for you.
Okay, why? Well, tell me what you do.
No, I like your rationale. I think that's a good idea.
So I just sprinkle just a splash of each of these, and you'll see what I'm talking about here.
No, I will.
See? And what I like is at the end, after this caramelizes and really cooks in the oven, this juice is perfect for sopping up. with a brioche or a croissant or something. And that's when the kids go nuts.
Did I tell you about the new croissant hybrid that's sweeping the Northeast?
You mentioned it. What? This is a croissant? What is it?
Kind of. they call it a cronut.
A cronut.
This is the latest thing to hit New York lately. It's a hybrid of a donut and a croissant. And they sell for $5 a piece, and it's become so popular that people are, it's like lines that take hours to get through. So they have, in New York, you get the people who are just kind of live the consummate bum lifestyle like anywhere else, go and wait in line, so that the people who can't wait in line can now go on Craigslist and purchase cronuts for like 800% markups. Ooh. And they're filled with chocolate, and they look like half flaky pastry, half cakey donut thing. But soon, coming to your town soon, the cronuts.
Just the other day, this past week was National Donut Day.
And I think that's why I was reading about it. I think it was something.
Do you want to know what I heard about on National Donut Day?
Yes, I do.
We didn't talk about this.
Yes, I do.
The foie gras filled donuts.
Wow, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, down in San Jose, Campbell, California, some place called Psycho Donut.
Mm-hmm.
They were giving them away.
Because of the
they
band.
Had protests. Yeah. They would their fair share of protests, and I tried to share it on Facebook, but it didn't work. So Facebook I would have been all over there.
Facebook probably took it down.
Yeah, I think they did. But how do you feel about the foie gras controversy? And I am just putting this. I will never do this again because I'm going to be grinding my own.
I will tell you what I'd rather have a foie gras stuffed donut than a sloppy Joe in between a Krispy Kreme, which is something that I also saw recently, which seemed unusual.
That doesn't sound very good.
Doesn't.
No. That's like a burger spinach.
I think that the
tomato thing in between two Krispy Kremes. Is that sloppy Joe?
No, sloppy Joe is like ground beef.
Yeah, ground beef.
I've never had one.
Burger.
I've never had one myself. Have you ever had a sloppy Joe?
Yes.
I've never had one.
I grew up here in I grew up in the Silicon Valley, which is kind of like, before it was the Silicon Valley, it was just like orchards and stuff, and I don't know. Yes, we had the man witch.
Yes.
Have you heard of the man witch?
I've heard of it. I grew up.
Something you could buy in a can, I think. But my mom would make them sloppy joes out of actual ground beef and spinach. And put it between burgers.
Well, see, burger bun. That doesn't sound too white.
No, it wasn't that bad, but with the. It does sound like white trashy.
I mean, it sounds a little white trashy, but
it's like shit.
Spinach.
Have you
was
had
it like
shit?
canned spinach?
Well, maybe it was frozen spinach. Yeah, at that time.
The white trash roll.
Have you heard of shit on a shingle?
I have.
That's very white trash.
Isn't that like a military thing? It's like beans on toast or something?
Yeah, anything on toast. I served that to the kids one day. It was like ground beef and a toast. And so we made a sauce, and they were like, "What's for dinner?" I said, "Shit on a shingle." Threw it down.
And they loved it.
They loved it. And it was just for fun, but yeah, it's actually pretty good.
I grew up in a macrobiotic household. We didn't eat,
What's that?
Macrobiotic is it's sort of like
big biotics. No, micro. No.
Macro.
Okay.
Yeah, large. It's sort of the grandfather of this whole farm to table movement that you're seeing right now. It was a philosophy and a lifestyle and a way to eat that was kind of popularized by this guy Michio Kushi, this Japanese guy, and he said that you should really only eat whole grains, and you should take meat out of your diet and really only eat things that were sourced locally from your area. And this was 35, 40 years ago in Boston is where it kind of came over to the United States. And he was sort of one of the first proponents of that sort of lifestyle. So that's, it's sort of like veganism, but kind of more encompassing because it involves, more of a food philosophy as opposed to just sort of saying, oh, you shouldn't eat meat because it's bad. What it's saying is you should make a lifestyle that revolves around being more responsible about what you put in your body.
I like that.
So
yes,
which makes more sense to me than I don't know, but it's very time consuming.
Yeah,
and it takes a long time because you cook everything And the slow food movement also came sort of from this. So you would, long days of cooking beans in a pressure cooker, and everything's done really slow and time consuming. So
I love.
So needless to say, we didn't have shit on a shingle at my house.
No, but you could make that macrobiotic easy.
You could.
Very easy.
Very easy.
But you couldn't eat meat. Okay, then.
We had sushi every once in a while. Sushi.
You could do zucchini on a shingle and just call it shit.
Sushi was our.
So
our
you
treat.
could eat fish.
It was sort of like a cheat.
Okay.
Sushi was like as close as I got to.
It's really fascinating, all the different types of choices that people are making with their dieting. I mean, or not dieting, but eating habits. And it's really, so we have some friends. I love you vegans, but I don't think we can be friends because what are we going to do? Like, what are we going to do? I don't have any.
Watch TV.
Watch TV.
Should vegans not watch regular TV?
I don't even know, because I love my vegan friends, but when I find out that they're vegan, I feel like, how can we ever hang out and like really eat together? Because I'm a total omnivore for basically vegetables and meat. I don't like dessert.
I'm not a dessert person either.
I don't like anything out of a package, although if someone has Doritos, I will have some. But, I mean, that's really bad. But
So the other big element of macrobiotics is no refined sugar.
Yeah, and I don't eat sugar at all.
So I'd never had sugar until I was, a little bit older.
You and your croak nuts, or...
Cronuts. Cronuts.
I was thinking of croak monsieur. Sorry.
Croak monsieur, that's a good sandwich.
Cronus.
So my mom reached some level of acclaim locally for making sugarless cakes.
Oh yeah, that's good.
They were very nice to look at.
Oh, I see. So good in photos. They would be great on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Or squash cookies.
Yeah.
Another favorite around my house. Yeah.
So how do you feel about eating now? Like, how have you changed, and what do you feel like your history with that growing up?
I think I had the phase of food rebellion where all I wanted to eat was fast food and late night diners.
Yeah.
In my late teens and early 20s, and I think I've gotten over that. Being a chef now,
You've done pretty well.
I kind of eat whatever at this point.
So here is these are pretty fatty, actually, with the skin, and I love the skin.
Yeah.
In fact, used to, we'd fight over the skin afterward.
You know that some people actually remove the skin?
I heard that. I've seen them even selling chicken without skin on it.
Yeah.
And I don't understand.
What do they do with it, I wonder?
Oh. They put it in chicken McNuggets, hopefully. Maybe some other stuff in there.
I bet that's more chicken than most McNuggets have.
Yeah, that's too much chicken.
It's too much
chicken skin. I know. You know what? I don't know. We'll have to find out.
For animal feed.
Yeah. Well, I love that part. I really do. So it kind of bastes the chicken as it's going. And so that's it. And I cook it in a 450-degree oven.
That's hot.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just cook everything pretty much like that in a 450-degree
No, that's good.
Yeah.
A lot of people are scared of heat. A lot of people think, oh, that's too hot, I'm going to burn it. But actually, the faster it cooks, frequently the more moist it'll stay.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you right here. I also really love cast iron skillets. I love them. You can do it in either the cast iron skillet, or usually I don't have big enough cast iron skillets for the entire family. So this creates, it's very oily now, but you can drain that off, and it creates a really cool, I would know, would you call that caramelized at the bottom?
Yeah, because the cast iron is a great conductor of heat, so it'll get nice and hot on the bottom. So you can, it's great for cooking steaks or anything that you want to get nice and crusty. And
yeah, I saute all my vegetables in it. I cook bacon and eggs in it in the morning.
Be careful if you go out and buy one, though, that you don't use soap or ever put it in the dishwasher. Or one mistake I made with my mom's cast iron skillet is when it's really hot, don't run cold water on it.
Ooh, what happened?
It destroys it.
Oh,
so don't do that.
Good. I don't think I have done that. I have like several different sizes, and they're awesome. And do they actually give you some iron into your diet?
Well, I don't know.
I think that they leak out, some good nutrients for you, vitamins or something.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
So, do you eat chicken?
I do eat chicken.
Okay. Then I'm going to give you a piece of chicken.
Sounds good.
There you go. Dig in. And I'm going to give you this lovely brioche.
Looks delicious. Did you make the brioche?
No. I do make bread, but I didn't make that.
Do you want me to cut your chicken?
Yeah. Sure. Thank you. And so I was thinking.
How often do you cook chicken at home? Once a week?
Yeah, about once a week. I like to rotate between chicken, pork, steak, or like tri-tip or burger, all that, beef style stuff, beef style. And then I always have like a healthy portion of vegetables, which I have here, but they are not prepared. So I was thinking of putting with this an just arugula leaves and some of this fresh cracked pepper. And squeezing the Meyer lemon over it, and then it kind of lightens up because this is very rich.
Yeah.
And
I love seeing the Meyer lemons out.
Dipping the bread in the sauce.
Oh my gosh.
There's a blueberry in it? Oh, sorry. Well, that might be really good. So this is that could be delicious.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Something.
It's a blueberry brioche from Model Bakery.
I like Model.
Yeah. Local bakery up here. And dip that in some chicken sauce like that. Ooh, that made it better.
Delicious.
So, we'll have to take turns next time. I'm sorry. Oh, that's good. So, everybody, thank you for joining us. What are we going to do in 2 weeks? It's impromptu, so you don't have to tell me.
I think in 2 weeks, we'll probably do the same thing with a new dish. Maybe a special guest.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we should. And I think one of our friends is going to make us a slightly soiled martini.
Slightly soiled?
Yeah. Sounds pretty cool, huh?
What is that?
It's like a dirty martini, but it's slightly soiled. So we're going to find out all about that. And so this one last thing I wanted to ask is what different flavors would you put? I meant to.
Flavors that I like to work with at home. Going on this theme, you got the Worcestershire and the soy sauce, something along those lines. I might add a little smoked paprika because I love spice and I love the smoke element. To me, if I'm rubbing anything with spices or anything like that, I'm definitely going to reach for the smoked paprika. What else would be good? You talked about maybe doing like an apricot. Is that what it was, or a chutney?
One time I did it with an apricot jam, like a very locally made one, not something from the grocery store with all the sugar. I don't, but more like a preserve of apricot, and then mix it with chopped habanero pepper.
Oh wow!
And let that cook down kind of the same way, and then the apricot sauce makes. As it melts in with the chicken juices and the chicken's fat dripping down and self-basting itself like that. I turn these over once or twice, just to keep them moist, so they don't, I
think one thing that
and that really just covers it.
One thing that's fun that a lot of people may hesitate or don't have a whole lot of experience with is fish sauce. Fish sauce is one of my favorite things to marinate with and to cook with. I do it all the time at the restaurant. I like to take equal portions of fish sauce and just regular sugar. Yeah. And then lime juice, chilies, ginger, garlic, shallots, chop all that stuff up,
Fresh ginger?
Yeah, a little bit of oil, a little bit of rice vinegar, and put that all together and let the chicken sit for like an hour. And what it does is it breaks down the enzymes so that you end up with something really tender and rich in flavor. So.
And do you cook it with the stuff, or do you take the stuff away?
I usually take the stuff away, but what you're left with is quite a bit of coating of the ginger, shallots, and peppers. That. Yeah. And you leave that on, and you can grill it, or you can cook it in a pan, just like that.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds good. How do you do the chicken? A whole chicken, or do you cut it up?
You could do chicken just like that. You could definitely do a whole chicken and roast it. But you could do the same thing with like a flank steak if you want to throw a flank steak on the grill. Okay. And the nice thing about using all that lime juice and fish sauce is that you can cook it almost, you can cook it way past medium, like almost to medium well, and it's still going to be nice and tender. So if you wanted to use it for tacos or a steak sandwich or something like that, you can really, play around with it. So throw the steaks on the grill and then forget about it while you do something else and not worry about getting it to that perfect temperature.
Yeah, because that's what happens. That's what we should do, a show about cooking with guests over and not being tied to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Or tied to the grill.
Yeah.
And being able to
People put themselves in high stress situations.
Yes.
And they try to do something they've never done before when they have friends coming. I'm guilty of that too. When I have special guests coming to the restaurant, I try to take myself out of my own comfort zone. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. As anyone that goes to a restaurant knows, sometimes you order the special and it's not what you wanted. What you wanted was the chicken that you always go back for, but instead you got the special and you're like,
It was a try. You tried it.
You tried it.
So, well, we're glad you do that because it usually results in something fantastic that we can then
that's the idea.
Put in our repertoire.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Jake.
Yeah,
I can't wait to launch the rest of this series of Impromptu cooking with kids of Napa Valley here. Yeah.
I think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. Good. Thanks. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you.
Be back in 2 weeks.
Sounds good.
Good night.
Good night.